All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to window bag a comic for a signing, and you have pretty much all your tools that you need right here. I'll just say excuse for the little ambient background noise. The kids are still awake and watching Big Hero 6 right now. So here's what you're gonna need: a pair of gloves. Every time I'm handling the books, I know this is kind of a inside joke now with the gloves, but I always wear them when I'm handling them, especially with a book this age. We're gonna need some painter's tape, an X-Acto knife, and the bag that you're gonna be using. And I always, when I submit books, send My Lights, and these are My Light pluses, or no, these are My Lights 725Ms with 700 full back boards. And all my comics I'm submitting go in these. If you want to make sure your comics are going to get there exactly like you sent them in, you want to use good bags and boards. You're spending all that money to grade the book and to get it signed. Who cares about the extra 75 cents or $1 that you might spend on a bag and board? And then in addition to this, I have this other backer board that I've trimmed down to size. So I'm going to put these side by side. You can do this with the comic in the bag, but I'm going to leave Mr. Adams a good amount of room to sign on here. So I'm going to kind of give him this whole region over here to pick a spot. And so I can kind of do that by eyeballing. But if you don't want to eyeball it, then you can do that by putting the comic in the bag and board and then marking it accordingly. So I'm going to kind of go from right there, and I'm just going to go straight across. Tear it off right there. And again, you know, some creators, when they're signing, you want to kind of limit their area that they have to work with, you know, exactly where you want it. With others, again, Neil Adams has really nice signatures. I think he does a great job. I don't think you need to be as cautious with it. Now, the one thing I forgot to get ready for me, I'll go grab it in a second and then I'll restart the video so that you can see that part. So I'm going to give him kind of this whole area right here. And so the whole area that I'm taping off is going to be the area that he's going to have available to him to sign. Okay. I'm going to put this one down the edge right here. I don't think he would ever go that far over, but you know, just in case. And then this side, I want to kind of give him this area too, so I'm going to go kind of close to that other side. I want to make sure it still has some area to wrap over, and then I'm going to fold this tape over. All right. Now that I've had that area taped off, I'm going to slide this backer board in. You're going to see why in a second. And then I'm going to get out my knife. I'm going to slide this guy over. And then I'm going to go over here and basically trace around this edge. So the reason I put that other backer board in there is so that I didn't cut into that backer board when I'm cutting this around. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly on there, but you know, close enough is good. You want to kind of get close to that painter's tape. Now they sell these types of bags. You know, they have signature window bags, but this is easy enough to make. All right, ta-da! That little piece comes out, and then I have a marker here. Now you can request colors of ink and all of that, and you know, for him, I don't really mind. I'm just going to write. You know, well, I should have maybe grabbed the kid's marker. Usually I use a permanent marker for this, but then I'm just going to write like "thank you" on here, you know, or you can write a nice little note or something like that. All right. So now we have that taken care of. We're going to pull this out. This gets discarded. And we have our little area that we want to sign over here. And so the thing I'm going to do, this is the way I kind of always feed my bags in there. I never drop them in. I'm going to pull this out as far as possible. Again, it was one of those kind of like nerve-wracking things to do live, but you're with me here, you're gonna see it. So I'm gonna slide this very gently onto the backer board, lift this lip up, and we'll start to nestle that in there. And then now that I've got it fully, like this is what you want to do. The book is now fully on the backer board, all right? Now that it's fully on the backer board, I'm going to slide it in. And now here's the pausing point right here. And I want to pull this out and make sure it doesn't catch this lip. So lift that lip up. Sorry guys, give me a second. Yeah, I'm making myself nervous now. All right, there we go. Whew, took me a second, but I cleared that bottom. All right, now the book is firmly in there. I'm gonna tap it down a little bit, make sure that that backer board's all the way at the bottom. Okay. Let's flip it over and make sure it's pushed down. Okay, that is pretty much secure in there now. We have the area that he can sign in there. And I'm going to come back in a second with two other pieces of equipment that I usually do to finish this off. Okay, these are the last pieces I'm gonna need. This is a staple in my collecting. This Stick It set, sold by Ready Set Collect. And these are little circular, basically sealers for the back of the books. I really love to use these. They're super cheap and I use them on the backs of all the books. Really, the rounded edges make it easier to open them instead of just having a piece of tape. This other one, this is a MyLight 775 Archive, and it has another Gerber 725, or I'm sorry, 700 halfback in it. And when I send books for signing, this is what I do. I pretty much have this archive, I have this. I'm gonna seal the back of this. Now, I am gonna go back and put the, let me do this. So it's not touching the top of that. So I am gonna come back and I'm gonna put the information for CGC, those little tags that you have to print out with the signings, and put it in there. I also put another copy and put in there. And now I'm going to put this all in here. Now, I don't know how many people use this, this particular setup right here with the archives, but this is how I send my books for signing. And knock on wood, thus far, I've yet to have an issue. And that's how I send it. So I have, I'll print out the information, I'll have it back here, and I have now this archive covering the front of this. And again, it's, yeah, I just spent probably like $2.50 to $3 in packaging materials for these archives, but I'd rather have the peace of mind knowing that there's not going to be any issues with it. So this book is pretty much ready to go. I'm glad you guys joined me on the journey for cleaning and pressing it, and now prepping it for signature, and we'll see on the flip side when it comes back, and I'll update you guys on how it turns out. All right, glad you guys could join me. Thank you.